I'm Pastor Penny Hogan, and I want to share some sobering statistics with you. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, at least 1 in 14 residents of Bergen County were experiencing food insecurity. Today, surveys show that in a single week in Bergen County, more than 20,000 people will rely on donated food. That's why this Advent season, Westside is partnering with 2 organizations that are dedicated to feeding the hungry in our area: the Social Service Association of Ridgewood and Vicinity and the Center for Food Action. Our goal: to raise $50,000 by Christmas Eve. Today, I'm standing in front of the Social Service Association's office here at the Ridgewood train station. For more than 100 years, SSA has been serving our neighbors in need, providing food, emergency rent, utility assistance, and support services. I'll be talking with Catherine Estes, Agency Director of SSA, and Cheryl Sorabella, President of the Volunteer Board. Ladies, I'm so happy to be with you here today to learn more about SSA and the people you serve. I know the official name of the organization is the Social Service Association of Ridgewood and Vicinity. What are the other towns that you support?
Sure. So besides Ridgewood, the and vicinity includes Glenrock, Waldwick, Wyckoff, Ho-Hocus, and Midland Park.
The towns you just mentioned are among some of the wealthiest in Bergen County. People often don't associate food insecurity with towns like Ridgewood and Wyckoff. Could you tell us a little bit about the people that you serve?
Absolutely. So the people we serve are really our neighbors, and I think it's important to realize that we have quite a bit of diversity, economic and other diversity across our towns and our catchment, and we're really helping children who go to school with our children and the senior citizen down the street and our neighbors.
How have the clients that you serve changed since the pandemic began? Have you noticed a difference?
Yes. So, and something Cheryl said I think is really important, which is that really we continue to serve our neighbors, and we've been serving them from before, and we're certainly serving them in COVID. But something that we have noticed is that we have an increase in the number of households who are coming to use our services. So outside of the folks that we would call clients, people who traditionally go through a process that we have in terms of income and expenses and going through an application process, there's also just a group of folks in town who really just need food, not necessarily the extra services that we provide in addition to some of our folks. And so our doors are open to them as well. So in a given week, we are serving anywhere between 90 to 105 households, or neighbors, if you will. So it's just individuals who are coming and they're needing food. And so we call them pantry bags, but really the way I like to think of them is it's just touches with individuals from households in our community.
On a monthly basis, we serve almost 500 people.
Wow, that's something that I never would have thought of. You all are tucked away up here on the train station. I've been by it hundreds of times. I've never been in. And you have a real amazing operation here to serve those in need. How has the pandemic affected the way that you operate?
Dramatically. So we closed, as did most organizations, when COVID hit. And we had to figure out ways to pivot into still being able to serve people. And we did very successfully. I'm very proud to say, as Catherine mentioned, we actually are serving more people now than we did pre-COVID. We started off doing deliveries of bags to people's homes, and then we figured out how to do drive-up distributions, and we had cars lined up in the parking lot, and we really were able to continue to serve people. We reopened the pantry in July, and since have been, we implemented safety measures to make sure that everyone, staff and people coming in are safe. And it's been great. It's very successful.
What would you say is your greatest need right now?
So in terms of need, we always need food. We're a food pantry, and as you can see, our shelves, we need to stock them. But in addition to that, I think some items that people might not ordinarily think of include diapers, laundry detergent, and personal care items. And specifically, I'm thinking of maxi pads for women. Again, these are all items that we give to clients in addition to food on a weekly basis.
So many things we don't always think about when we just think of a food pantry, all the other elements and necessities that we all need to survive in our daily lives. So thank you for giving us some insight around that. Is there anything else that you'd like us to know about SSA and the people that you serve?
Sure. I think it's important to think of us as, a food insecurity organization because we do help put food on the table year round and our needs do continue year round. But when you're thinking about food insecurity, we have to think about our neighbors who are making choices between buying clothing or paying for their heat or electricity. And if we can help them in other ways by providing food so they can make those choices for their families, that's what our goal is, to do that.
And I remember as we were talking, you mentioned that on the colder months last year, there was a family that came and they were in shorts. And so you were able to help provide them with some winter clothing as well.
We partner with the community thrift shop in Midland Park, and when we see a need such as that, we provide a voucher so that people can go and get clothing, appropriate clothing for their families.
Also, in terms of services that we provide, certainly first and foremost, we are definitely a food pantry. That is what we're about. But beyond that, for some of our folks, they are in need. As Cheryl mentioned, sometimes it's hard to pay for your electricity. It's hard to keep your heat on. It's hard to pay your rent. It can be hard to do a variety of things. And so for some of our households, we have additional services in place for them, such as they can apply for rental assistance, they can apply for energy assistance. And so on an as-needed basis, just like we do with the clothing voucher, we also are able to help with some additional expenses that our clients have above and beyond the need to either come here and get food or to buy food in the grocery store.
This organization is a real light in our communities because we would not think that our neighbors in our towns that we live are in need of your services. And so we're grateful for all that you do for our neighbors and also for your time today. Thank you so much for sharing with us a little bit about SSA. It's certainly insightful for me. I've driven by the train station so many times. I've seen your red door, but I've not actually been here in your facility. And so we are grateful for the work that you do and are really appreciative of your time today. So thank you for being with us and helping to tell the story of SSA.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As you have heard, food insecurity is on the rise here in Bergen County. I hope you'll join me as Neighbors Helping Neighbors to raise $50,000 for SSA and the Center for Food Action by Christmas Eve. Whatever you're able to give, we thank you for your generosity.